Good evening, Richmond County, and welcome to another edition of the RO Sports Show brought to you by RO Yellow, Richmond County's new online business directory. It's been a wild week 8 for Raider athletics, but many teams on the green and gold are finding success, and not just the win column, but the other aspects of their respective sport. Let's start off tonight with the Lady Raider volleyball team. Since last week's episode, the Lady Raiders found themselves with a loss to Lumberton on Thursday night in a close game 3-2, but saw on the road Tuesday they scored a victory against 71st 3-1. In the Lumberton game, it was a back-and-forth affair with numerous momentum shifts that went 5 games. The Lady Raiders dropped their conference match to the Lady Pirates. Entering the night, Richmond was in 3rd place and had a 1-game lead over Jack Britt, but then they tied with the Lady Buccaneers following the loss to Lumberton. The Lady Raiders will battle back 2 times, winning the 2nd set 25-23 and the 4th set 25-15 to force a winner-take-all 5th frame. With the 5th set close up until the match point, Richmond will come up just short 13-15. Not taking any opponent lightly down the home stretch of the regular season, the Lady Raiders then held off a scrappy 71st team on Tuesday. Head coach Ashley Larson's team began their final week of play on the road, rolling to a 3-1 win over the Lady Falcons. Richmond controlled the tempo and the scoreboard for the first 2 sets before clinching the match in the 4th against its SAC opponent. The victory proved to be Richmond's 2nd in 2 tries against 71st and its 7th straight win since 2 teams joined the same conference in 2017. The 4th set win also spoiled the Lady Falcons senior night. The Lady Raiders will host rival Scotland tonight for senior night and what will be the regular season finale. Seniors Jaden Johnson, Madison Jordan, Carly Lambeth, Lane Maltsby, and Jasmine Ewing will all be recognized. On the middle school side of the net, the Hamlet Red Rams and the Rockingham Rockets met up for their SEM SAC Championship game last Wednesday. Defending their home court, Hamlet defeated Rockingham in straight sets 3-0. All 3 set scores were 25-18 in favor of the home team. The victory saw Hamlet finish the regular season 14-0, and it was the 3rd time it defeated its in-county rival this season. The Lady Red Rams won 30 sets this season, losing just 1. Moving over to football, the Richmond Raiders took a trip up to the Boneyard to face off against host Jack Britt. In what proved to be the Raiders' toughest conference matchup this season, the Buccaneers gave the visitors a run for their money, but a streak of 34 unanswered points by Richmond in the second half led to a 59-28 victory. With the win, Richmond improved to 7-0 on the 2019 season and extended its regular season winning streak to 16 games. The 59 points were a season high for the Raiders and the 2nd most they've ever scored against Jack Britt. They were also the most points the Buccaneers had given up since allowing 63 points in the 2013 playoffs. The Richmond Observer sports editor Kyle Pillar was at the game and got a chance to speak with head coach Brian Till and players Jaheim Covington, Brian Bowden, Xavier Lindsay, and DeMarcus Harrington.
Coach, this was kind of your guys' first real test in conference, a really gritty physical game. So just kind of talk about the adjustments that you guys made after trailing by 2 points there in the second half.
Well, you know, the big thing is we didn't make a ton of adjustments. Defensively, we got better at staying on our reads. They were doing a good job of setting up quick, running plays quick, and so it was slowing us up, getting to the football, that kind of thing. So what we did is just be a little more disciplined in our reads and continue, and really did a great job in covering for a long time. Both those interceptions were on late, you know, quarterback's trying to make something happen, scrambling, you know, and us will continue to get after him, putting pressure on him. And so big thing was to continue to cover. That was our guys just be determined to keep playing.
You guys had 7 rushing touchdowns tonight, and you scored on all 3 facets of the game with the pick 6 and the punt return. So just kind of talk about spreading that wealth and obviously the 7 rushing scores.
I mean, Jaheim Covington, huge, you know, and then the offense just saying, hey, we've got to go score. You know, we've got to go pick things up. I can't say enough about how the offense responded tonight. And then the defense, you know, I think we fed off of that. You know, I think we came up with those 2 back-to-back turnovers because we fed off the offense's energy. They were just very determined after we lost the lead to come out and make sure we got it back. And our kids appreciated that.
At one point, you guys scored 34 unanswered points. So what kind of statement does that make in terms of the team's resiliency and not letting, you know, what is, you know, statistically the best offense in the conference?
Well, I mean, I think that, you know, we probably do some of that earlier if we don't make the mistakes. Mm-hmm. And so we've been front runners, you know, and it's not intentional, but we've jumped out in front of people. So tonight it gave us a chance to see what we can do, and I just loved the response. It says a lot about our kids' character and their desire to win, and their just refusal to do anything but try to give their best to win.
Last question, Coach. Why is a game like this beneficial moving forward?
Just learning how to face adversity, learning how to face circumstances that are kind of, you create for yourself. You're beyond your control. Hey, let's get out there and keep fighting and understand that the game lasts a long time. And especially when we haven't played a few of these games have been kind of going fast. We've been cut off at halftime, and this was good for our kids. Had to play hard for all 4 quarters.
Guys, big night for the offense. 7 rushing touchdowns. So Jaheim, I'll start with you. You had 4 tonight. That ties a career high. So just kind of walk us through what worked well for you.
Well, follow my man Brian right here, all the offensive line. And I had to go back, had to take my clicks out of retirement from 11th grade. I think that's one of the reasons why I did what I did.
All right. Brian, over to you. What worked well for the offensive line? I mean, you guys oftentimes don't get a lot of credit, but you opened up a lot of holes tonight to lead to 7 rushing scores.
I think the focus and us talking to each other, calling the plays out, and trying to just get the play right. Because we knew we were down at one point.
Right.
So I couldn't leave him. I couldn't stop him from being soft, so I had to pick that up.
He mentioned being down at one point. What was the conversation that the team had, or Coach Tiller? What was the turning point that you guys kind of fired it up there? In the second half?
Told them the game ain't over. We got to keep doing what we do, and we're gonna come back.
Brian, last question for you. How important is a win tonight against a really tough, gritty Jack Britt team?
It's very important because it's a wake-up call for us, so we can't sleep on little teams.
All of you guys had big plays tonight, so Xavier, we'll start with you. You kind of had that interception that got things started and ended up leading to 34 unanswered points tonight. Just kind of walk us through that play and how big that was.
Well, I was just making sure ain't nobody get behind me and watching out for the deep ball, and just came up when the pass was thrown and caught it.
And CJ, you coming off a big game last week, also had another strong game tonight. Just kind of tell us about that pick six. You returned it 30 yards. Again, it was part of that big scoring rush by you guys in the second half.
Coming out of the half, we didn't feel good about them scoring on us, so we feel like just to step up, just to put the team on our back and make a play.
And Sway, DeMarcus, you guys, you also tonight kind of came in and scooped up that punt 25 yards down the left sideline. So again, what did you see there, and how big was that touchdown in that moment?
It was big because I let up 2 catches, so I just knew I had to make a play to get show my team that I'm still ready and I'm still playing. So it was big.
Richmond is now 7-0 on the season and 3-0 in SAC play. They will travel to continue its trek toward a perfect season when it travels to Hope County this Friday. The Bucks are off to an impressive start on their second-year head coach George Small, having won 5 of their first 8 games. Hope County fell to Scotland 21-3 on Friday. The Raiders and Bucks will kick off at 7:30 p.m. in Rayford. For just the 3rd time this season and the first time since the second match of the fall on September 17th, the Lady Raider golf team participated in a full 18-hole round of golf during Thursday's regular season finale. Just like it opened its season, the Green and Gold closed its slate by playing at Pinehurst number 5. The experience of the 5 other matches between visits to Pinehurst saw the Lady Raiders take 11 strokes off their team score for the first visit for a final tally of 473 or 185 over par. What head coach Keith Parsons has called the most difficult course his team has played this season, Richmond took 4th place for the 7th time in as many tries. Leading the field was SAC champion Pinecrest, followed by Jack Britt and Purnell Sweat. It was a good day for number 1 senior Hailey Miller, who for the 7th time led the Lady Raiders on the scorecard. She posted a season best 18-hole score of a 18 over par, seeing the front 9 serve as her best half of golf with a 6 over par. She closed her afternoon with a 12 over par on the final 9 holes. More importantly, Miller secured her spot in next week's regional tournament. It marks the 4th time in her high school career that she'll play in the postseason. In order to qualify for the 4A Central Regionals, which will be played at Pinehurst number 7 on October 21st, Miller had to submit her 5 best 9-hole rounds and average below a 50. On the season, she averaged a score of 45.1 strokes per 9 holes, with her 5 lowest rounds being 41, 42, 43, 45, and 45. Last season, Miller shot a 90 in the 4A East Regional at Pinehurst number 1 to qualify for the state championship tournament. Let's shift focus over to the official Richmond County Athletes of the Week, brought to you by Moss Brothers Tire and Service. Starting with cross-country sophomore Malin Wallace. Wallace is in her first season as a cross-country runner and has been a pleasant surprise for first-year head coach Jessica Covington. The Lady Raiders have won 3 conference meets, and Wallace's role as the number 2 runner has played a big part in the team's success. A member of the National Beta Club, Wallace was at Great Wolf Lodge this week and helped the Rapid Response team qualify for Beta Nationals in June in Fort Worth, Texas. She, along with her teammates, built a Lego tower as a part of their competition. Wallace also plays softball and was one of 3 freshmen on the varsity team last season. She plans on going out again this spring and is currently playing travel softball in Greenville, South Carolina. Although she's got over 2.5 years until she graduates, Wallace hopes to spend her time at Richmond performing well academically and athletically, while also making new friends and memories.
And you're coming off your best performance of the season last week with a new personal record of 23:19, which was 59 seconds faster than your previous personal record. So my first question to you is just kind of explain what's been the key to your success this year in your first year of cross country.
Just really staying determined and focused on finishing the race and trying to be in the top 10.
And you've taken almost 7 minutes off, 6 minutes and 57 seconds actually, since the first meet to last week's meet. So what is your mindset like when you're out there running to shave all that time off?
Just trying to think okay, you can do this, be better than last week, try a little bit harder, you can do it.
Like I mentioned, this is your first year running cross country, so what's been the biggest challenge to you in terms of just getting used to this new sport?
Probably trying to make my endurance better and trying to get more and more distance to be able to cover and trying to stay keeping my breathing under control.
Sure, and a lot of it's there's a mental aspect to it just as much as there is physical.
Yes.
What do you enjoy most about this new sport?
I love running because it's it really is stress relieving for me, and it helps me think okay, if you can do this, then you can do anything you want to.
Sure. Last cross country question: what do you think most about when you're running? And we kind of talked about this, but what do you think most about, and what makes you consistently the number 2 runner for Richmond?
I think a lot about if you can do this, then you can basically do anything you want to, and if you do this, then you can beat last week's time and stuff like that.
So what makes you number 2? I mean, Ariel Brown is obviously very, very talented. She's been doing this a lot longer. But what makes you right up there with her? What puts you there?
I just try to push myself harder and harder every time, trying to get up to her time, or I must beat her.
Sure. All right, so we're going to switch over to our Raider Rapid Response segment, which lets fans at home know a little bit more about you, Malin. So first up, you also play softball. You were on the varsity team as a freshman. So what are some of the similarities and differences between the 2 sports?
Cross country is definitely more mental to me. You have to think more to yourself because it's an independent sport. So I'm always thinking you can do this, whereas softball, you have a team that's kind of saying it for you.
Okay. Which one do you think you're better at?
I think I'm better at softball.
You think you'll be as good at cross country someday?
Maybe.
Okay, we'll have to find out. Do you have any pre-race routines or things that you do for good luck?
Normally on the bus rides over to wherever we're going, I always watch TikTok. I know that sounds weird, but that's something I always do, and I'll probably continue. So.
You think it brings you good luck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets you focused. Which flavor of ice cream do you think best represents your personality?
Probably strawberry, because it's just kind of out there. It's different, so I would say strawberry.
Okay. Question 4: if you could replace the 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore with you and 3 of your friends, who would the 3 friends be and why?
Probably Jenna McCrae, Kirsten McDonald, and Lauren Hudson, because they're always there for me and they're always cheering me on, you got it. So probably those 3.
And all of you, except I guess Kirsten, were all cheerleaders together at one point, right? So certainly a good group of friends there. Last question, Malin, where do you hope to see yourself in 5 years from now when you're after high school?
I would like to attend a college and hopefully play a sport there. So that's what I'm going to be looking forward to in 5 years.
We heard from him earlier, but senior running back Jaheim Covington has been named the official Richmond County Male Athlete of the Week. Covington is coming off tying a career-high 4 rushing touchdowns in Friday's 59-28 win over Jack Britt. When he is not breaking tackles on the football field, Covington spends a lot of his time in the classroom preparing for life after high school. Admitting he's doing a better job focusing and working on schoolwork this semester, he's got a full course load of classes. Covington has his eyes set on continuing playing football at the collegiate level and hopes that will someday translate into playing at the professional level. But he understands in order to get there, he needs to stay focused in the classroom. Some schools have reached out to Covington, have been UNC Pembroke, North Carolina A&T, Elon, and Randolph College. He's toured Pembroke's campus and said he really likes the school, but he said he'd love to receive an offer from NC State.
So Jaheim, you tied a career high the other night with 4 rushing touchdowns against Jack Britt, and you had 3 first-quarter touchdowns. And I know we talked a little bit about it after the game, but I guess my first question to you is just what made you so successful on Friday with 4 touchdowns?
Falling behind my O-line. We practiced hard this week, and we already knew that there was 5-1, and they said they were going to be a challenge.
Okay, so talking about that challenge, what kind of adjustments were you able to make, kind of play-to-play, series-to-series, to find those holes?
They just told me, don't think about where the ball going, just hit the hole hard. Where you see daylight first, hit it.
Okay. Did it work for you then?
Yes, sir.
All right. Second question, you've proven to be kind of one of the toughest runners in the conference the last couple of years, a lot of yards after contact. So what's your mentality when you get that ball and you're hit with a bunch of guys, but you keep on chugging on?
Oh, just keep running, try to score and get as many yards you can get.
Is there, is that what you're focused on?
Yes, sir.
End game is to get as many yards as possible?
Yes, sir. I pray for the game, tell God, let me get all positive yards, and don't let me get tackled by the first man.
Okay. Richmond is 7-0, and you guys have Hope County this week, so another, they're, I think, 5-2 as well. So just kind of tell us what you're doing out here at practice to get ready.
We're practicing hard. We're not taking no team lightly because any team can have a good game and come up and beat us.
Sure. How many touchdowns are you going to get this week?
I want to break the record, but I'm trying to get 4 again, tie my record, but with the 5.
Okay. Well, let's see if that happens against the Bucks on Friday on the road. So up next, Jaheim, is our Raider Rapid Response segment, which lets us answer some more personal questions about yourself. So first one kind of involves you and your dad, Flip Ellerby. He was one of the better running backs while he was here during his time. So what's it like to follow in his footsteps and to have him kind of as a role model when he played here?
He just tell me to run the ball hard. Every time I get the ball, don't think about where the play supposed to go. Just when you see free space, hit it.
Is there a lot of stories that he shares with you, a lot of tips that he gives, and if so, what's he share with you?
He'd be like, he'll say one game, if the boy that they hit him straight to his leg, but he has the stiff arm right to the ground, kept on going.
Do you see a little bit of yourself in your dad's game?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you could play any other position on the football field, which would you want to play, and why do you think you'd be good at it?
Linebacker, because I used to play linebacker when I was in middle school, when I used to play in Rick League. I think I got good eyes to watch the ball, where the ball go, I go.
Got enough speed to play linebacker?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think so too. So what do your future plans look like? Are you trying to play college football? Or,
yes, sir. I want to play college football and try to make it to the NFL.
Okay, so what are some things that are falling in place? Have any teams shown interest? Or?
Yes, sir. I got to get the rest of my grades back right. Okay. And I want to go to NC State.
Okay, all right, fantastic. Who on the football team are you closest with in terms of just being friends?
Caleb. My boy, because we grew up together playing football together. Just playing football, and we tight like that.
Okay. And it's always good to have a running back, quarterback friendship like that. So what are some things that you guys enjoy doing when you're not out here at practice or on the football field?
We just go out to eat sometimes because we love to eat. Well, Caleb love to eat. We just go out to eat.
Okay, very cool. Question 5, do you have a good luck charm or a pregame routine that you always do that brings you luck on Friday night?
I just listen to my cousin Doug Bankroll, and then I pray to God.
Okay. Last question for you, Jaheim. Which football coach do you think has impacted you the most over your years here at Richmond?
Coach Hope and Coach Denson, they tell me to stay on top of my grades. If I want to go somewhere, I got to have my grades first.
Sure. You're bringing them up, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's your Week 8 official Richmond County Male and Female Athletes of the Week, presented by Moss Brothers Tire and Service. And that's going to do it for the RO Sports Show, but that's not all of the sports that have been happening in Richmond County. Of course, for the latest updates on every sport, head on over to richmondobserver.com and follow Ross's Facebook page for your wrap-up. You can also find some exclusive RO Sports content on all social media platforms. In the meantime, I'm Russell Parker. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week on the RO Sports Show.